This is Pyratt. I had the most amazing morning. I was watching the news and I got to see journalists interviewing these so-called protesters who were angry that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are reducing fraud, waste, and abuse. What I loved was seeing journalists go up to individual protesters and ask them on camera, could you please tell me specifically which cuts in spending you believe are fascist or antithetical to democracy? And these protesters did not have an answer. This is exactly what psychological and information warfare look like. People believe that their opinions are a substitute for facts, and they are unable to engage in evidence-based thinking and, more important, evidence-based public policy. More importantly, we need to reframe this issue. This issue is no longer about politics. This issue is about narcissistic personality disorder. Let me give an example. Have you ever had someone in your family or a friend, maybe in your marriage, in a romantic relationship, who refuses to admit when they are wrong? That's the issue here in the United States. In this country today, we no longer are having a substantive public policy debate because no one can look into a camera and claim that cutting fraud, waste, and abuse is somehow antithetical to democracy or fascist or Nazism. They can't do that in a serious way. So what they now do, instead of having a substantive public policy debate, is engage in narcissistic abuse, tactics of malignant narcissists who refuse to admit when they're wrong. Let me repeat that again. Narcissists refuse to admit when they're wrong. I have a tactic for you when you're dealing with a malignant narcissist. Say these words to them and see what happens. Say, look, even though we're all supposed to listen to each other, I have absolutely no problem if you don't listen to me. And they'll look at you quizzically and say, what do you mean? You say, however, I have a problem when you don't listen to yourself. And then they're going to look really freaked out. They'll say, well, what do you mean I don't listen to myself? Say, so you're a Democrat, right? They'll say, yes, I'm a Democrat. And you supported Barack Obama? Yes, I supported Barack Obama. Barack Obama claimed years ago on camera that the way to balance the budget is to eliminate fraud, waste, and abuse. He said this on camera. And when he said it, you were a massive supporter of this sentiment. But when Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Doge do the exact same thing, you call them fascists and you call them Nazis. So you're not even listening to yourself. Well, so what do you mean I'm not listening to myself? You do not believe that your statements, thoughts, and feelings and opinions need to be consistent with what you said today, yesterday, last week, last month, last year, last election. And that's a huge problem. And if you didn't claim that your leader, Barack Obama, was a fascist when he claimed that, because no one can rightly claim that, that'd be absurd. It is unethical to claim it when a Republican says the very same thing, but more importantly than saying the same thing, has actions and words which are completely congruent with what your president, the president you supported, Barack Obama, actually said. Thomas Jefferson once said that the virtue of a republic is based upon the virtue of its citizens. We are in a very strange situation, my friends, in which a small but militant and highly vocal percentage of the population is engaged in gaslighting on a societal level. I'm going to repeat that again. A small, militant, highly vocal percentage of the population is engaging in massive gaslighting on a societal level. That is informational and psychological warfare. You shouldn't tolerate it. So, going back to this theme of Democrats as narcissists, the number one thing that defines a narcissist is an inability to admit when they're wrong. If you'd like to see this on full display, just look at Leon Panetta when he was confronted with the results of his laptop hoax. He was unable to admit that he's wrong. This is a classic malignant narcissist. So let's think about this. If you're in a three-letter agency, if you're in a tier 1 unit at JSOC, you've been running raids against terrorists during the global war on terror for years. What are you really doing every day? You are hitting targets and you are capturing electronic devices, hard drives, etc. That is literally your bread and butter as an intelligence agency. And Leon Panetta would have you believe that when you discover a laptop in the continental United States that's not half burned to a crisp because of explosions and fire and some, firefight with an assault team and a terrorist group, perfectly intact laptop, perfectly intact hard drive, that they had absolutely no idea how to determine this laptop's provenance. The man was lying. And when he was caught in his lie, he had no shame. But in order to understand Leon Panetta, we have to further delve into narcissism. Shame is not actually enough. Here's why. As most of us have learned, shame is a public emotion. It is an emotion for the public upon discovery of wrongdoing. People who are neurotypical, who have basic ethical beliefs, feel remorse, which is a private emotion where one admits to oneself at the deepest level that what one has done is wrong. So guilt and remorse are private emotions. Shame is a public emotion. Leon Panetta is not even able to imitate the way some narcissists can the emotion of shame. Shame is often a performative emotion as well for narcissists who imitate this emotion that neurotypicals have. But a true neurotypical doesn't just feel shame if what they've done is wrong and they believe it's wrong. They feel guilt and remorse. Just remember that when you're speaking with a Democrat. They can't even figure out, they claim, where laptops come from. And yet they are very, very clear that when Trump and Elon Musk are doing exactly what Barack Obama advocated doing, that somehow Barack Obama and Donald Trump are fascist Nazis. Shame on them, shame on these people, and shame on the narcissists in your life who refuse to admit when they're wrong.